Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a channel announcement for you. As many of you may know, I recently moved and I also changed jobs, and that's been great. Everything's working great there, but I'm realizing that keeping up my old pace of reviewing with this new job is just not realistic. It's becoming, gear reviewing that is, has become something that feels more like an obligation than an opportunity. It's becoming stressful rather than enjoyable, and at some level that's absurd. I've got all this awesome gear here to check out. How can I let that stress me out? But it's a thing. And I realize that if I keep burning the candle at both ends, I'm going to run out of wax real freaking fast. And so today I want to talk about two big changes that I'm making to the channel in an effort to address that. The first one is just slow down a little bit here. My new goal is to do one review a week. Sure, I'll do disassembly, things like that, but I want to just film one review. I want to accept one piece of gear a week and really kind of relish it, spend some time with it, live with it, rock it, get it in, really get a sense of it. And ideally, at the end of the week, make a video that I'm really, proud of. Put a lot of effort into it. Not like in editing and whatnot, because that wouldn't be me. But rather than making a video that I just simply completed. That's a pace, though, that I think I can sustain even with my other obligations. And I hope that the videos will be more enjoyable as a result. And of course, I might, here's the trouble, I might throw in something else, too. I mean, anything I really want to get made will get made. I mean, I've got some amazing things in the work charitably. That's gonna be a thing, and will continue to be a thing. That oh man, you keep an eye out. But I've also been loving the philosophy and the non-review videos too lately because A, they don't take quite as long to make. I just need to write them up, film them, and whatnot. But they're also bringing joy, and I finish those often feeling excited rather than drained. They make people think and talk, and they're not just more grist for the marketing mill. So you'll be seeing those sprinkled in as well. But from now on, although you're gonna see more than one review a week until I get through the rest of my backlog here. That's kind of my goal from here on out. But as a result, I'm going to have to change the other big thing, which is about my gear selection process. From here on out, I've decided that I'm going to be selecting the gear that I do take a look at from the perspective of gem hunting rather than in consumer reports. Let me explain a little bit. For a long time, I felt like, oh, well, I need to check this out, this out, this out, this. Every time that there's something new that comes out, it's like, yeah, I should take a look at that, see how it is, let people know what's up. And you know what? That's, maybe it's noble, I don't know. But either way, it's something that I can't necessarily keep up because honestly, negative reviews are really, really unpleasant to do. And that's a recipe for doing a bunch of them. I mean, that's one misconception I think a lot of people have about me. I mean, sure, there is absolutely so bad that it's good. The Z Hunter effect, where it's just like, oh, yeah, this is terrible, and I'm going to love telling you just how terrible it is. That's a thing. But I honestly hate making negative reviews of knives where people are seriously trying to excel because they suck. They suck to write. They suck to film. They suck to watch the reaction to. And to see the negative effects on the makers from them. I mean, they're freaking exhausting, and I am just tired of it. Seriously, I am tired of bloodbaths and red flags, of taking one look at a knife and just being like, no, that's going to be awful, but yeah, let me go ahead and review it. I'm tired of accepting mediocrity of flaws with the hope that it'll be salvaged by something else when it really never is. I'm tired of reviews where it's crap, I know it's crap, and we're just kind of confirming the suspicions, oh, maybe this terrible maker's going to get it right this time. No, they're probably not. I'm tired of reviews where I give airtime and free publicity to people and makers who just kind of suck and are treating people in the community poorly or frankly treating me poorly. That's ugly too. The ones shipping poor products, causing constant dramas, tossing around threats, that kind of stuff. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of dragging makers who are set in their ways over coals that they're never going to care enough to feel because honestly, the makers who don't care about community reaction, and by the way, I don't just mean me, but like what everybody's saying, tend to be the ones who aren't making great knives anyways. And, I'm just tired of all of these negative freaking reviews. There's a benefit to them, but I can't do it because what sustains me, honestly, are the gems. What sustains me are finding incredible gear, the Delicas, the Casio Oceanuses, the TRM Neutrons, the AD-15s, the TIE Scribe Bolts, the Wee Wisps, the Rat 2s, the FRN Chaparrals, the Norseman Boost Smokes, all the other wonderful gear out there, and finding the craftspeople who care, who are doing incredible work in relative obscurity, but whose work everybody should know about. That's when I'm able to do some good. That's when this feels worth my time. That's when the channel helps people. When people message me because they found something which was an incredible helper in their everyday life at a price that worked for them and brings them so much joy, that's when I feel good about this. So as a result, I am now officially gem hunting. If I take one look at something that's on offer and I see just huge red flags or a set of glaring design flaws, places where they have completely botched items on my knife building checklist, or just a product that offers me no reason for enthusiasm, no why, I'm just going to say no. In fact, my default setting is probably going to be a lot closer to no thanks, only letting onto the table the stuff that I think has a really honest chance to excel, and the stuff that I think a lot of folks are going to benefit from seeing. And when makers send me gear, I'm going to be advertising and then probably exercising the right to just send it back if it's not something I can recommend. Because honestly, it's not worth my time to agonize for hours on how to entertainingly say, this is kind of a piece of crap. Because and this is, by the way, part of the reason I offer stealth reviews to makers, so they can get that honest feedback but way before they're willing to take the knife public, and the question of review isn't on the table at all. It's just something that maybe helps them if they find my, perspectives helpful. And I do want to be very clear about one thing here. You are still going to get honest reviews of everything that comes across the table. If you're seeing it here, it's going to be an honest review. You're going to get the good, the great, the bad, the ugly of everything you see, and I have no desire to lie to you. Frankly, I'm not trying to make a living at this, so selling out doesn't do anything for me. And I'm going to screw up from time to time. I'm going to think, oh, wow, this is going to be a gem, and it's going to be a piece of crap, and then you'll end up with a negative review despite myself. That's fine. There is always bad and ugly, though, even when it's mostly good and great, and a key part of what makes a gem, and what makes it a buying decision is knowing the weaknesses so that you can take that into account. Like if I say, oh my God, it's freaking ginormous, for some people, it's like, yeah, great. And so I got to keep with that. The other thing I'm going to get a bunch of, I'm sure, in the comments is, oh my God, Nick, this is so subjective. This is bias. Well, yeah, of course it's freaking subjective. It's a review channel. That's what happens in review channels. I mean, that said, I'm going to try not to let my preconceptions affect things too much. I'm going to try and take some chances from time to time. Yeah, like the AD-15, the Demco that just had yesterday. Or the Christopher Ward Trident. I love being surprised. There were a few things I love more than being positively surprised by a piece of gear, but the simple fact is, subjective or not, it's kind of what I'm going to need to do, so kind of take it or leave it. I gestured at this before. I know you're going to, like, Nick, you said this already, but there's always been a part of me that felt this moral obligation to be Consumer Reports, to check out the latest and greatest, but that's just not a role I can take with the level of time, energy, and passion that I've got in me. And this is, by the way, a part of the reason why I encourage all of you to just throw up a video, just post on Instagram or a forum, just share your feelings, good, great, bad, and ugly, of the new gear on your table. The very first video I ever shot was of this guy, well, actually the other one, right before I sold it. Just figure, because I knew even then it was a bad idea. But anyways, talking about, my feelings, because I wanted to put that out there for the world. I just figured I would put it up there, somebody might search it and find it, and then people started subscribing and kept coming and coming. I had no clue that I was going to turn into a jackass of some limited popularity at the time, but there it went. But the world is just a better place when more people, even if you never turn into a big channel, even the world is better when there are more people reviewing honestly, when there is more accurate information out there about new purchases from many perspectives, people with all kinds of different use cases, many different people, many different individual units. That's the way that we figure out if there were quality control issues. If 50 people review them and 20 of them had an issue, that means something very different than if 50 people review them and one of them had an issue. That's important to know. And the simple fact is, let's be real here, that my having 55,000 subscribers, holy crap, does not make me any more correct or valid as a reviewer than you are. I am just as subjective and biased and random a jackass as you. Maybe I've handled more gear, but still, your opinion matters, so I encourage you to share your opinions freely, to do your own reviews. Find a venue that makes sense to you, a blog, a forum, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, and just do it. Give it a try. Be kind, do so with care and professionalism, and try to help everybody, both the makers and the people in the community, but do it, because together as a community we got a chance of being Consumer Reports, of getting the information out there about a meaningful portion of the new gear that's released every week. That's how we can succeed. But for me personally, yeah, sure, I could grind myself into dust, into powder, salty powder, hunting through and reviewing everything that people would want me to review. Or I could take the other approach. I could focus on keeping my ears to the ground and listening to people whose gear sensibilities I trust, watching the community, watching the makers I know and respect, listening to tips from viewers and supporters, searching out the hidden gems in the gear world, ideally with your help, but also on my own, and then trying the new things that have great potential and honestly examining some of the very best gear that's out there and bringing that to you. because I want my channel to be where you go to find the very best of the best. Elephant in the room. But nevertheless, to learn the nitty-gritty details of something that might be an exceptional tool for your life, to find the very best value, finding ways that folks on a budget can still have something that is truly excellent and will bring them a great deal of joy, to discover gems that you never heard about before. I want my channel to be where you find makers you've never heard of who are doing work that you're going to love, where you go to, in part, contribute to charitable causes, make the world a little bit better, and ideally to find content that makes you think and laugh and enjoy and teaches you something new about something you didn't know about before, I guess. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like I said, things aren't going to feel like they're changing for a while because I've got a pretty big backlog. I was filming at a fevered pitch. There's a reason I haven't had weekends for a while. For 2 years. But nevertheless, behind the scenes, things are absolutely going to be changing, and I do hope that that change is going to be for the better. And so as of today, as of right freaking now, I am reborn. This channel is reborn. This is a new dawn. Hey everybody, Nick here, and I am the Gem Hunter. Thank you everybody for your ongoing support. Hope this has been interesting to you. Have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.